What's going on, Dan?
Not much, man. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. I'm doing all right. A little tired, but I've been worse. Drinking a nice Guinness. You want to get right into these fights?
Yes, sir. Let's do it.
All right, we're going to start off the night with Jinyu Fry versus Vanessa Demopoulos. You want me to take it?
Um, no, I feel like you want to take the Brian Keller one, and I want to take.
I'll take whatever.
Yeah,
I'm
I'll
good with
take this
whatever.
one. Vanessa Demopoulos dropped her first two UFC outings against Corey McKenna and JJ Aldridge, but she got
Mhm.
that nice armbar over Silvana Gomez Juarez in that last fight.
You did.
It was honestly she got dropped in that fight too, and then like pulled that armbar, and she had that like memorable post fight interview and shit, like jumping up into Joe Rogan's hand. I don't know, shit was weird.
Yeah,
Um,
it got a little touchy feely in there.
yeah. Jing Fry is super undersized, but it's not like Vanessa Demopoulos is huge for the division either. Does have a wider body though.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, this is a tough fight because it's hard to it's plus 205 from minus 245 for Jinyu Fry, and I just don't think I'm that comfortable with her for the odds. I do think she's gonna squeak out a decision because she looked decent in her last fight. She beat Ashley Yoder. She also beat Gloria DePaula. She's had solid performances, but she did lose to Kay Hansen. And Loma Lukune. Loma Lukune is pretty decent though.
Yeah, I think she's good.
But she bounced back 1-2 in a row. I think she keeps it going here, but I'm not very confident. Wouldn't bet money on it.
Yeah, Jinyu Fry is definitely more experienced fighter. She won and defended that Invicta atomweight title. She's 2-2 in the UFC. Lost her first two. I think that had something to do with her transitioning into a new weight class because she was, like atomweight, which is pretty small. I think she's pretty much acclimated to it on a 2-fight winning streak. She's a grappler and really relies on that. Pretty stagnant on the feet, takes a lot of damage, has a minus 1.5 striking differential. Although she did do good in her last time out against Ashley Yoder, but Ashley Yoder doesn't have the best striking either. She's more of a BJJ practitioner. Vanessa Demopoulos is also a grappler, black belt in BJJ, 1-2 under the UFC umbrella. Doesn't have the same experience, but she's faced UFC caliber fighters her whole career. Basically, she fought Caitlin Chukagian and Cheyenne Vlismas in her amateur career. She's faced two pretty good strikers so far in the UFC. She's been training at Fight Ready. A lot of great partners. Henry Cejudo's brother, Angel Cejudo, Eddie Cha are her coaches and cornermen. So like some of the pretty much best names in the game. Tough matchup to start the night. But that being said, I like the striking better. And I think she'll be able to stop the takedowns for the most part. So I'm going to go with Vanessa Demopoulos.
Honestly, a solid underdog. I don't hate that at all. Like
very solid to start the night. There's actually a couple of underdogs that I'm pretty confident in this so far. But we're both. Oh, wait, who'd you take in that?
I took Jinyu Fry, but I'm super uneasy.
Okay, Dan took Fry, and I took Demopoulos, and we're gonna move right into the next one: Mario Batista versus Brian Kelleher. Brian Kelleher, tough guy. One of the few guys out there willing to take a fight on any time and basically any different weight class, which is kind of turned him into like a low-key fan favorite. That the fact that he's so active and willing to take fights like that. Very well-rounded, finishing 18 of his 24 wins, 10 by KO. Kelleher is dropping down to bantamweight, where he hasn't really competed at in recent history. He missed his last time at 135, only fought 2 times there in his last 8 fights, but he did end up winning both of those fights. I think that's I think it's a better weight class for him. He's only 5'6" with 64-inch reach, but the best way to beat him is to just out-grapple him. He's faced high-level grapplers like Umar Nurmagomedov, Ricky Simone, Cody Stamen, and he lost all those guys, and they're very grappling-heavy, pretty much elite grapplers for the most part. He's taken a Mario Batista, is 3-2 in the UFC, has far less experience, only joined the UFC in 2019. He's 6-0 record when he first joined. He's by far the better striker, hands down, more technical, powerful, explosive, very active with kicks, which is a huge game changer, and is a BJJ practitioner too. He has been knocked down in both of his UFC losses, dips his head a lot, which becomes a problem in his fights. But overall, I'm going to have to take Bautista in this one. I think he probably keeps it standing for the most part, picks him apart.
Yeah, I basically have, I got the same. Brian Kelleher kind of got, he got controlled by Umar Nurmagomedov in his last fight that didn't last long. I mean, I don't dislike the guy, you know, he's a high energy bantamweight and he just does his thing. But the guy's turning 36 soon. I don't know. Batista's just got, besides that fight against Trevin Jones, which honestly it happens. Trevin Jones has very powerful punches. You know?
Yeah, I like Trevin Jones.
He's got solid striking. He can land at a high clip. I like Bautista decision in this one.
Yeah, I'm totally agreeing with you on this one, Dan. We're both going with Mario Bautista. We're going to move right into the next one. Cody Durden versus JP Bays.
Yes, JP Bays. I am sorry, he's started off rough, and he's had a rough go of things recently.
Rough, to say the least.
Yeah.
Personal and professional.
Yeah. He he's lost to Bruno. Bruno Silva's an absolute beast.
Yeah.
And then he lost that fight to Montel Jackson pretty one-sidedly. Guy likes to go for his takedowns, everything, but he hasn't looked very good.
No.
Durden, as much as I don't like him, he's gonna chase those takedowns and he can grind. And I think he's gonna grind the fight away and just be able to take a nice little decision win.
Yeah, I'm also going to go with Durden in this, and he currently is the underdog, but it's switching. The lines are switching, so I would go in there quick to do it. But both guys started off pretty slow in their UFC careers. JP Buys 1-3 so far under the UFC umbrella, and amazingly, he's been knocked down 7 times in his last 2 fights. I don't think it's a weight cutting issue because he was knocked down 4 times when he was at 135 and 3 times when he was at 125. But that leaves me to believe that he's just like kind of chinny, and he's only 26 years old, so that's really not a good sign. But he is well-rounded. He's finished all of his fights, has a wrestling background, brown belt in BJJ, heavy hands for a smaller guy. Cody Durden went on that little racist tirade against Aroy Quayling and got what he deserved and got annihilated by Muhammad Makayev. But his game is good. He's 1-2-1 under the UFC umbrella so far, getting a very tough matchup against Chris Gutierrez and was a draw in his UFC debut. Like Bays, he has a very high finish rate, 10 out of his 12 wins ending by finish. They're both wrestlers, but Durden has much more fast-paced, dominant wrestling, averages 4.4 per fight, has double the takedown defense than Bays, which is piss poor, sitting around 25%. So that's how I pretty much see this fight going. I think Durden just is able to out-grapple him and wears on Bays, and I couldn't even see a finish.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty even money, so why not?
Yeah, what the hell? But I do like Durden. For how close the line is, Durden's pretty good money. So we're both going to go with Cody Durden in that one. Going to move right to the next one. Rulian Paiva versus Sergey Morozov. Morozov 1-2 so far in the UFC, losing his debut to Umar Nurmagomedov, then lost his last time out after landing an early first-round knockdown, emptied the gas tank trying to get the finish, and got knocked down 3 times in the second and ended up getting TKO'd.
A lot of punishment.
A lot. He wins mostly by KO, has heavy hands, very well-rounded fighter. He has some good wrestling too, and a great ground and pound. And he likes to move forward to control the pace, which is very fast. Rulian Paiva was on the wrong end of a brutal first-round KO against Sean O'Malley. But before that, had a similar thing happen to him against Kyler Phillips. Phillips landed an early knockdown, gassed out, and then Paiva ended up winning the next 2 rounds. He has a background in BJJ, but more of a striker in his UFC career, but wins overwhelmingly by decision. 14 of his 20 wins coming by the judges. But honestly, Paiva has been lucky with the judges in his past couple of fights and has been knocked down in his last 2. If Morozov can be more patient, I think this is a pretty good matchup for him.
Yeah. I don't like with Paiva, he looked solid, you know. He had that dope fight with Kyler Phillips. I mean, a lot of people thought Kyler Phillips won that. It was a close fight.
Very close.
But yeah, like before that he was at flyweight. It's tough because he looked terrible his last time out. He really did. You know?
Yeah, well, that's tough. That's a tough matchup.
Yeah. Um. This is a tough one, and like, this is one of the sketchier ones of the night for me. I don't want to put my money anywhere near this, but
Yeah.
I guess if I had to take someone, I'm gonna take Morozov. He's like he's bulkier. He'll be able to probably use his takedowns and get Paiva down to the ground. Like, I don't think Paiva is going to be able to do much off of his back. Um, yeah, this is just really tough. I'm not a big fan of this one, but I'm gonna go with Morozov.
I like this fight, but I'm just not totally sold on Morozov. I feel like he could be good, but it might be a little bit too soon right now. Like Payev is a top 15 guy right now, so
Yeah,
it's tough. And I am worried about his gas tank.
guy.
But if he's
Yeah,
able to improve that gas tank, I think I like him a lot. All right, so we're both agreeing. We're both going to go with Sergey Morozov. We're going to right into the next one. TJ Brown versus Shailen Nurdambiek. Do you want this one? You want me to take it, Dan?
you got this one. I kind of want to take the Carlos Ulberg one.
All right, this one I love that Carlos Ulberg fight. Absolutely, this one is pretty one-sided matchup. If I'm being real, both have really grappling heavy approaches. But the big difference here is the striking. Brown has outstruck 4 of his last 5 opponents in the UFC. Has a +1 striking differential, 43% accuracy. Nurdambiek, only 1-1 inside the UFC, has an extensive 37-10 pro record. Only 28 years old. But if you do a little deep dive on him, it's very, very padded. And he's not hiding anything. He has 15 people with no wins that he's faced. And his striking is very, very poor. He fights off his back foot, kind of slow starter. You know his strikes are all being thrown to set up his takedowns. Also, doesn't really throw combos at all. A lot of looping punches. His grappling basically is the way he's going to win a fight. It's very good, but Brown's grappling is as good, if not better. So um, the grappling cancels out. TJ Brown just picks him apart on the feet.
Yeah, I agree, and I would even maybe give a slight edge to the takedowns to TJ Brown.
Yeah, I think Nurdambiek kind of fooled us a little bit with that record. It's
Yeah, no, he's definitely not like like he lost that fight pretty one-sidedly to Kulabau.
and his striking's so bad,
Not good.
very poor.
I like TJ Brown. I think TJ Brown's good money on this one.
Yeah, TJ Brown. What's he sitting at, Dan? You got a number for me?
TJ Brown's at a -200. I would eat up on that.
Eat up on that. I like that a lot. Put that in your parlays. Yeah, that's a good one. I like that a lot. The next one, there's good money in this fight too. So we're both agreeing. We're both going to go with TJ Brown. Can move right into the next one. Tafon and Chukwi versus Carlos Ulberg. I am this should be on the main card
Yeah, definitely should be on the main card.
over
Now
that
I'm
heavyweight
curious, who
fight.
do you have? Because I feel pretty strongly one way.
You want me to say who I got?
Yeah, just say it.
Ulberg.
So do I. Okay, good. I think we're on the same page here. Ulberg's got the technical striking much better. His cardio is a question. But he was able to honestly throw in a couple takedowns against Fabio Sharon. He just dominated that fight. He played it a little safer. He's probably going to look to play a safe fight against Tafon Nchukwi, but I just see him on the feet. He's able to pick him apart with his technical striking ability. And plus, Tafon Nchukwi's not a very tall guy, you know?
Yeah, not really. Stocky.
Yeah, he's more of the stockier dude. I think that Ulberg's just going to stay at kicking distance and just do his thing.
Yeah, the matchmakers did a sick job with this fight. This has fight in the night written all over it for me. Carlos Ulberg, such a fun guy to watch. Crazy high volume striking, Muay Thai fighter, fights out of city kickboxing. Very technical, straight punches, stiff jab, a lot of kicks, and has a lot of pop in those punches too. But his speed is probably the most impressive thing about him in his punches. Just very, very quick hands. Over the course of his first 3 UFC fight, he has a +4.7 striking differential at 61% accuracy. Tafon is also another great striker, kickboxing style, high volume striker too. Has a lot of same attributes. Tafon is technical, great kicks, powerful. I just think I do think he has the more well-rounded game too. He's trained BJJ. We've seen him grapple in some of his fights on the feet. This is a very tough call. Both fighters are similar. I don't think Nchukwi's grappling is gonna be enough to really get Ulberg down to the ground. So I think it stays on the feet. And if that's the case, I have to go with Ulberg. I think I think this turns into a kickboxing match. And I think Ulberg is just a little bit better there.
I think he's far better technically, you know?
Yeah, I could see that technically for sure. He's so much fun to watch though. I'm a huge fan of Carlos Ulberg. And he's got a 4-1 record. This guy's just starting out, very green. All right, we're agreeing. Carlos Ulberg, I think he's a big underdog too, if I'm not mistaken.
Ulberg?
Yeah, give me 1 sec. I'm gonna fact check this real quick.
He's minus 105, so Tafan's slightly favored, but I love.
I must be thinking of someone else, but yeah, I love him too. Great. We're both gonna go with Carlos Ulberg. Gonna move right into the next one. Chris Curtis, Rodolfo Vieira. I'm gonna start this one off. I'm gonna start this off by saying I am sorry. Chris Curtis, we are sorry. We doubted you. And I will not make that mistake twice. I know you're out there watching this right now. He's a big fan of ours. This guy is absolute real deal. 3-0 so far under the UFC umbrella, 3 brutal KOs, including a performance of the night in his last time out with a win over Brendan Allen. He fought at welterweight for a while, and he might look a bit undersized out there, but I think middleweight's the place for him. He did get off to kind of a slow start in his last time out against Brendan Allen. Gave up his back early. Allen controlled the pace in the first half of that round, and at the end he fought off a heel hook from Brendan Allen, but did end the round on top in the last 10 seconds, and then landed a KO in the second. I am worried because if Vieira gets a hold of his back that early, Vieira is a lot better BJJ practitioner, arsenal of submissions. Chris Curtis, very powerful on the feet, mean left hook, and some great cardio. Vieira is absolutely all jacked up, and I think that affects his cardio tremendously. Not to mention he takes a lot of damage on the feet. His striking is not good. Not really good.
Gonna clip the shit out of
him. Yeah. This fight, I think, is a good matchup for Curtis. Honestly, I think Brendan Allen is way better than Rodolfo Vieira. So this is a step down in competition. So I'm going to go with Chris Curtis pretty confidently.
Yeah, I'm going to take him as well. The main thing behind it, he's got that dog in him, bro. He doesn't give a fuck.
And you know what? I think he goes because there's a little story behind this. We made a prediction about him in I think his last fight against Brendan Allen, and he commented on our video, and he was like, I think we fueled him up a little bit. Like we gave him some anger in him to go out there and take it out on Brendan Allen.
Yeah, honestly, we're the reason why Chris Curtis. Imagine he watches this one. He's like, I got this, and then just loses. He's like, yeah, you guys got to just bash me.
Keep bashing me. Keep bashing me. No, but I didn't know it was him, and I was like, all right, guy, take it easy. You know, we all make mistakes. And he's like, I'm the guy in the fucking video, man. And I was like, oh shit. Sorry, Chris Curtis. But he's cool. He's a cool guy. I apologize for that. But we're both going to go with the great Chris Curtis. Going to move right into the next one. Umar Nurmagomedov versus Nate Maness. Interesting matchup.
Yeah, this is going to be an interesting one. Not really. I'm going to take Umar in this one.
Yeah.
Nate Maness is good, though. Like,
that's why the odds don't make sense to even put a dollar. Make sense.
Like, I think Umar is gonna win, but I might it's kind of worth some money to just throw on Nate Maness. Like, this is like plus 750. You know, throw $10 on the guy, you win 75.
Like, yeah, exactly. You're paying for dinner with you and your old lady. You know, going out to a seafood dinner. But
Umar's the man, and he's a great grappler and gets those subs, but like. Nate Maness is no joke either.
He's a dog.
He's a dog. He's got pretty good grappling himself. He's got very good takedown defense. Like, he's not a joke. Like this.
He's also a gamer too.
What?
Hell of a gamer.
Word?
Yeah. He'll change up his game plan. He'll if he's losing the first round, he'll just win the next two. Like, he's very good with that. That's why the odds just don't make any sense. And I think just because if your last name's Nurmagomedov, you don't even have to be related to Khabib. And the odds makers are going to blow this completely out of proportion. Nate Maness, he's a guy 14-1, 3-0 inside the UFC, back-to-back performance of the night finishes, a KO and a sub. We've seen him overcome adversity and come out with a win in his last time out against Tony Gravely. Nurmagomedov is no joke, 14-0, winning 7 by sub, 6 by decision. 2-0 inside the UFC, 2 sub finishes. He also fights out of AKA and is trained by his cousin Khabib, so that's a huge plus. His grappling is dominant, but a lot more green in his striking. Doesn't have the hands and the power like Khabib did. I know Manus' training is wrestling like crazy. He posted some pictures on Instagram of like training with a couple of NCAA Division I wrestlers to get ready for this fight. I know it's a long shot, but I'm going to take Manus. I'm going to be betting on Manus, so I'm taking Manus.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Straight taking him. Like I fuck it. You'll sound like a fucking genius, man.
I know I'm gonna sound like a genius. Let's hope. There hasn't been a huge upset in a couple months, so let's hope for the best. Maybe this is the one. The next one I'm very excited about. We're disagreeing. Dan's gonna go under Nurmagomedov. I'm gonna go with Nate Maness. Gonna move right into the next one. Thiago Moises versus Christos Giagos. Yeah. Moises is coming off back-to-back losses where he was finished. Granted, from very good competition, Joel Alvarez and Islam Makhachev. He's a BJJ practitioner, holds a black belt, and more recently started doing a little better into striking, incorporates lots of kicks now. He's a little more technical. That being said, it's still not great. Also, for a grappler, he struggles to get takedowns, only averages 1 per fight, only 60% takedown defense. Christos Giagos is definitely more well-rounded, way better footwork, and his striking is more fundamentally sound, not to mention has a great pace and cardio. And his experience is way ahead of Moises's, even though Moises is 26, about to be 27, still pretty young. But Giagos has fought insanely high competition. Gilbert Burns, Charles Oliveira, Josh Emmett, Drakkar Klose. He's much more active and consistent with his takedowns, averages 3.3 a fight at 41% accuracy. And last year moved to Sanford MMA for a change of scenery, which I think is a great move for him. So again, 2 in a row. I'm going to go with the underdog. And this is the one I was talking about. That was the big underdog, Christos Giagos. I think he's like a minus 200. I mean, a plus 200 at this point. So I like him in this.
I think this, I got to disagree. I think this is going to be a bounce back fight for Thiago Moises. Giagos' takedown defense isn't great. I mean, neither of their striking is too great, but Thiago Moises did have a solid striking clinic against Alexander Hernandez back last year. And then he fought Islam Makhachev and Joel Alvarez. Joel Alvarez is fucking like 7 inches taller than the guy.
Big boy.
You know? That has to play into something. I'm gonna take Thiago Moises, but you made me a little sketchy on it. I was actually pretty confident at first.
Yeah, well, Thiago Moises, I think he got gifted that fight against Bobby Green. So I look at him as 2-3 in his last 5, and he's just hasn't really been like showing me too much. And that fight against Hernandez was very close to, and Hernandez is not that good. So it's a little sketchy. I think it's a solid underdog, honestly. But we're going to disagree. Dan's going to go with Thiago Moises. I'm going to go with Christos Giagos. And we're going to move right into the next one. Josh Parisian versus Alan Boudreaux.
I really kind of want the next one if you want to take this.
Yeah, I'll take this. This one is like, what the fuck is this doing on the main card? I know it's a heavyweight fight and they're looking for a knockout, but I think this one, I would bet the over in this, honestly. Alberg and Nchukwu should be here. That fight is 10 times better. But Josh Parisian, fights usually go either he gets a KO early on, or his opponent grapples with him, slows him down, grinds out a decision. That's generally how his fights operate. He's finished 12 of his 14 wins, though, 8 of those in the first round. He's going to be taking on Alan Boudreaux, who's had a rough time in the UFC, to say the least. He's 0-3 in the UFC, getting KO'd in 2 of those. One of those turned into a no contest, but he still got finished pretty bad. And he's also a very powerful, pretty high volume, at least for a heavyweight striker, and has finished 7 of his 8 wins by KO. Parisian struggles on the ground, but I can't see Boudreaux grappling with him. To be honest, this fight stays on the feet. Call me crazy. I'll take the over. I know they're trying to look for like a KO here, but I think this might be like just a bummer of a fight. Give me Boudreaux. That guy needs a win in the worst way. I think he'll pretty much do anything to try to win this one.
Yeah, I guess I'm going to take Boudreaux as well. I mean, I hate this fight, though.
Yeah, it's dead even. It's a pick'em. So
by decision, maybe. I don't fucking know.
I know they're trying to make it a. I mean, I think this is a dud. I think this is a dud.
This is the gross fight of the night for me.
All right. So we're agreeing hesitantly about Alan Boudreaux. We're gonna move right into the next one, the co-main event: Neil Magny versus Shavkat Rakhmonov. Do you want the co-main or the main, Dan?
The co-main.
Okay.
Yeah, Shavkat's looked fucking dope recently. He had that sick knockout against Carlston Harris, and subbed Michelle Prazeres and also Cowboy Oliveira. This guy's a beast.
Mm-hmm.
People say potential champion. This guy, he's got a great frame for the division. He's super skilled.
Well-rounded.
Very well-rounded. I just love this guy. Neil Magny, yeah, he got a pile driver in his last fight. That was pretty cool. But like, it was a split decision win over Max Griffin, and he got outlanded in that fight. Yeah. I don't love it. He did beat Jeff Neal, but Jeff Neal,
hands of talc.
Yeah, I don't know. He did fall off a little bit. He was rising at one point.
Fuck Jeff Neal.
I like Neil Magny a lot, but I see him as this is a typical gatekeeper fight.
Yes.
There's a reason why Shavkat's a -390 favorite. Just throw him in. If you want to throw him in your parlay, yeah, but I think this is an easy fight for Shavkat.
Yeah.
Not easy, but not easy. Neil Magny's a respected veteran. I shouldn't say that, but right. I think he will surprise people by how dominating he's going to be in this fight.
Yeah, but Neil Magny is an absolute warrior. He's 19-7 inside the UFC, wins over Kelvin Gastelum, Johnny Hendricks, Carlos Condit, Robbie Lawler. He's one of the more longer, lankier guys in the 170-pound division, 6'3", 80-inch reach, really awkward on the feet, great kicks, good footwork, kind of fights off his back foot, always circling around and avoiding strikes. He has a plus 1.5 striking differential, very well-rounded, 2.4 takedowns per fight. He's coming off a split decision from a guy I thought he would have no problem with, Max Griffin. And Max even got a knockdown on him. So it wasn't really a good look. Shavkat Rakhmonov is a guy with probably some of the most hype in the welterweight division. 3-0, all by finish in the UFC. Has an undefeated 15-0 record, all by finish, 8 by KO, 7 by sub. He's a grappler, master of sports and combat sambo. And he's another guy that recently started training Sanford MMA. His grappling is dominant. His ground and pound is deadly. And he's got some pretty powerful hands too. Neil Magny has struggled with elite grapplers his whole career. That's always been a problem with his game. This matchup is pretty much well set for Rakhmonov. So I'm going to go with the Rakhmonov victory.
I like it.
All right. We're both.
They set this fight up for him to win.
All right. We're agreeing. We're both going to go with Shavkat Rakhmonov. Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you.
I was going to say, it's easily set up for him to win.
Yeah, for sure. I'm agreeing with you. We're both going to go with Shavkat. Great name. And we're going to move right into the main event, which is very interesting, Dan. Arman Tsarukyan versus Mateusz Gamrot.
I like
this is great. First off, let me start by saying I'm going to do a little hate ad for Paddy Pimblett, Paddy the Fatty. With that fight, if he ever faced Arman Tsarukyan, he would get absolutely annihilated, probably in a first round finish.
Yeah.
Right. And then everyone's talking about Paddy like he kept calling him Mr. Hand Sanitizer because he threw hand sanitizer at him. Can you think of a more lame fucking thing to say?
I honestly Paddy's cool, but I'm not a big fan, man.
Really he's not cool. He's trying to be Conor McGregor, but he's got a 70 IQ and he's got one of the weakest chins I've ever seen. And
the simple Jack look is really what's getting his way to fame, though.
Dude, because he looks a little mentally challenged almost. That's the reason why people are looking at him. They look at him, they're like, oh, this guy's a UFC fighter. It looks like he should be riding a short bus, but
whoa.
Arman Tsarukyan is an absolute killer. He's 5-0. He's on a 5-0 win streak, back-to-back performance of the night and KO finishes. He's only lost twice. He's got an 18-2 record. Once when he was 18 years old in his second pro fight, and one when he won when he fought Islam Makhachev in his UFC debut. So you can't really blame him for either. He's 25 years old. I think he has a serious chance to be champ one day, and I think a couple of years down the line, that Islam fight could go a different way. Tsarukyan is making huge strides in his striking. He's got some heavy hands, fast pace, always moving forward, and is constantly pressuring either with his striking or grappling. Gamrot has also looked stellar, 3-1 in the UFC. He's finished all the 3 wins. 2 of them were awarded Performance of the Nights. He's a great grappler, started his MMA journey in wrestling and then eventually BJJ. His striking's technical. There's not enough output that I'd like to see. He puts everything into his punches. So when he hits you, he hits you hard, but because of it, he misses a decent amount. I'd like to just see a little bit more output. Overall, the matchmakers are doing their job here. Great performance. Great matchup for future stars, and I just think Tsarukyan's a little better everywhere right now. So I'm going to go with Arman Tsarukyan.
The one place that I could question that is where Gamrot has experience going 5 rounds, multiple times.
Yeah.
And he's a well-rounded guy himself. I do like Tsarukyan. I think this guy's got ridiculous potential. Like, look what he did to Joel Alvarez. Good God. But I could see Gamrot making this a tough fight. The one, I'm almost like 50-50 on this. I am confident it will go to decision, though. I don't think either of these guys are stopping each other.
Fair.
But I still think Arman Tsarukyan is good enough to probably win the first 3 rounds. But I see Gamrot taking probably the last 2. So, put it this way, if it's the 3rd round, if it's like towards the end of the 3rd round, and like it's a clear 2-1 Tsarukyan, I'm gonna live bet a lot on Gamrot. That's
a smart idea.
He's got good conditioning. He's just a solid fighter. They're both solid, bro. They're both well rounded.
Yeah.
They both are like actively shooting for takedowns a lot. They do their thing though, man. I'm a fan.
Yeah, very similar.
I think that I guess I'm gonna take Tsarukyan, but I'm not gonna put money on it until like possibly the 3rd round. Other than that, I'm just gonna enjoy it.
Yeah, definitely don't put this one in your parlays. I would say this could be a parlay buster. You know what I'm saying? That's a big yawn right there. This guy's tired, guys. We gotta go. That's it. We're both gonna go with Arman Tsarukyan, and that's it. We're gonna be putting out the next episode hopefully Monday. I'm gonna shoot for Monday. We're gonna record Sunday. Big pay-per-view. Max Holloway, Israel Adesanya, Volk, and Jared Cannonier. Guess who my picks are? All right.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say I have. We'll get to it. We'll get to it when we get to it.
Well, let me. Yeah, I'm gonna be I'm taking Max Holloway. If you don't know me by now, I'm gonna be taking Max Holloway.
I can't, man.
You can't. Oh, we're gonna get into this next time. We're out of here. We don't want to screw up another episode. We're gonna give it all away. It's a little teaser for next week, guys. All right, peace.
Yeah, get their nips all.
Peace.
Peace.